Council, can I see everybody up here, one of you from each side for a moment?
Do you want to? Me too.
Can we do that air? The air. Let me formally call it where you're getting ready. State versus Grist, case 241101170.
Well, let's see what he says. Type slow.
Just wondering if he's checking his stock report or Scott.
It is, Scott. Your Honor, the issue with Mr. Williams, we're just texting with him right now at his available times. Looks like he's available at 10:30 and midday.
I understand you've got 3 short witnesses. Do you want to do them right at midday at noon? Or 10:30? Which one?
Let's do the 10:30 break.
10:30 break. That should probably give us our 3 witnesses and finishing up with Ms. Restelli.
After
Would
that.
put it about right then.
All right, let's plan on about 10:30 then for Mr. Williams.
All right. Kate Restelli.
So, Mr. Brown, so Mr. Mike Brown in the back, so we're not going to call Ms. Restelli till 10:30, so you're welcome to
No.
stay and go.
Probably 9:30.
You think?
Probably, maybe even quicker than that, honestly.
All right, all right. All right, with that in mind, then, let's bring in the jury. Counsel, do you have any of your witnesses in the courtroom? We do have the exclusionary rule in play. Good morning. Why don't you sit back out there and wait, come in with all the other jurors. Are you a juror?
I am not a juror.
Okay, don't sit there, go sit in.
Yes, will do.
Are you a translator?
Yes, I'm your Spanish interpreter this morning.
Oh, your law in motion.
For oh,
4B.
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 Gotcha, thank you.
All right. Now I know why I'm so confused.
Everybody is so confused.
The whole courtroom's like, what's going on? Is that hot in here, counsel?
Yes.
I'm going to turn the heat down.
Great question. I think they hit traffic too. Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
So first witness would be. Sorry. So we have 911 calls 36 and messages are 37. I expected no, but thank you.
Yeah, Tracey and I talked about foundation.
All rise for the jury.
Thank you. Please be seated. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Thank you for being here on time today. A couple of housekeeping matters. Some of you have indicated, or one of you actually did bring your computer to work, so to speak, today. You're welcome to use any electronic devices in the jury room during breaks, subject to my admonitions about doing research about the case, using social media about the case. Any of that type of behavior would be inappropriate and shouldn't occur at all. Just remember, though, that your primary responsibility is for this trial, so don't focus in on what's going in there and focus in on this. When you go back to deliberate, those devices shouldn't be used at all until you've completed your deliberations, so just keep that in mind as well. The other matter is, the attorneys have asked me to take 3 short witnesses out of order before we continue with Ms. Restelli. There's 3 neighbors that have some conflicts, so they're going to bring them in, do their testimony quick, and then we'll go back and finish with Ms. Restelli. That in mind, I'll turn the time over. Who's going to handle that? Is that you, Mr. Pollard?
It is, Judge, thank you. The state calls Caitlyn Laney.
Good morning, Ms. Laney. If you come stand in front of me, I'll swear you in. Raise your right hand right there. Works. Do you swear or affirm under the laws of the state of Utah, penalty of perjury, that the testimony in this matter today will be true and correct, so help you God? Okay, if you can have a seat up there. If you spit out your gun so you don't shoot through that, make it difficult to understand you, that'd be helpful. I know you've testified before, but please keep in mind to let the attorneys finish asking the question before you respond. Please give them a direct response. We don't need long answers. Short yes or no, if that's appropriate. It's just give us verbal responses. I know you're nodding your head right now, but we don't have a video recorder, so just keep that in mind. Thank you. Mr. Pomeroy.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Laney, would you please introduce yourself to the jury?
I'm Caitlyn Laney.
And for the recording, how do you spell Laney?
Laney.
And what would you like to call us? What would you like us to call you today?
Caitlyn's fine.
Thank you, Caitlyn. Now, Caitlyn, where did you live in the summer of 2024?
In Haymaker.
Okay, and where is Haymaker?
It's in American Fork.
And you say Haymaker, is that the name of a community?
Yes.
And what type of community was it?
It's a townhome community.
Okay, was it gated, not gated?
It was gated.
Okay. And did you have a neighbor by the name of Tracey Grist?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you called these townhomes and she was your neighbor, but what exactly was the situation? Was it duplex, triplex, detached homes?
I think it was a triplex.
Okay. And so were you in the same triplex with Tracey?
Yes.
And do you recall who else lived in the home with Tracey?
She had 3 of her kids. It was Rory, Kevin, and I'm blanking on her other son's name right now.
Would Jake or Jacob sound
Jake,
correct?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Kevin, would that be Kevin Ellis?
Yes.
Okay. And you yourself, who did you live with?
I lived with my husband, Brent, and our 2 kids.
Okay. Now, did you speak to Tracey often?
Sometimes, like, we were neighborly.
Conversations in passing then?
Yeah, I would see her outside, gardening. Our garages were next to each other, so sometimes coming in and out. She and Rory, they watched our dog for us a couple times when we went out of town. She's the one who gave me my garage code.
Okay. And you said that you shared, or the garages were next door and it was a triplex, so I assume you shared some sort of walls with Ms. Grist?
Yes, I think our condo was partially above, like, their garage. Our wall going up our stairs we shared, and like kitchen, that kind of side of the house.
Would you generally hear very much noise from their apartment?
No, occasionally in my laundry room, I could hear people, and then her garage door, it was really like hard to close, I guess, so it would slam a lot.
Okay. Based off your description, is it fair to say just because of that layout, you didn't hear many noises other than what you just described?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you mentioned that this was a gated community. Would you consider it a safe community?
Yes.
And then one last question about the housing situation. Did you ever notice whether Tracey would use a screen door of some sort on her front door?
Yes, it was like one of those ones you can walk through that like would keep bugs out in the summer.
And was it normally there during the summer?
Yes.
All right, let's move to a different topic. Do you remember calling 911 sometime during the summer of 2024?
Yes.
Do you remember the date?
I don't off the top of my head.
If I suggested that was July 12th, 2024, would that sound correct?
Yes.
Okay. What was the reason you called 911?
I heard what I believe to be gunshots.
Okay. So what were you doing? Well, let me back up. Do you recall whether it was morning, day, nighttime, evening?
It was in the evening, around 10 o'clock.
Do you recall what you were doing in the evening before calling 911?
My husband and I were out in our living room watching movies with our kids.
And you said you heard some gunshots. Describe exactly what you recall hearing.
It was like 6 to 8 loud bangs.
Okay. Did you take any particular note of the rate of the bangs? And what I mean by that, were they quick succession? Was there pauses between?
They were pretty quick together. There might have been a brief pause between the last one, but it was quick.
So after hearing these gunshots, what did you do, if anything?
I first looked over to my husband because this is around 4th of July, and if anybody lives in Utah, they know like they're crazy for fireworks. So you hear fireworks pretty much between 4th of July and Pioneer Day. So it wasn't uncommon to hear them, especially on a weekend evening. So I looked over to my husband and I was just like, hey, was that fireworks? And he's a positive guy, so he's like, yeah, I think so. And I'm like, I don't think so. It sounded more like a bang, fireworks pop. And so I was like, I don't think so. So I had seen Tracey at the park a couple days before, and she had told us how her daughter, Kate, who had showed up about 3 weeks prior with the kids, was leaving an abusive marriage. And so when I heard the gunshots, what I thought was gunshots, I was worried. So after we talked for a little bit, I texted Tracey and just asked if they were okay.
Okay. So you texted Tracey to ask if she was okay, and we'll come back to that in more depth in a second. But do you recall about what time that was?
It's like 10:06 or 7.
Okay. And the text was up before or after you called 911?
I texted her right before, like a minute before maybe I called 911.
Okay. And do you recall maybe just the amount of time between when you heard the gunshots and when you called 911?
Between a minute and 2 minutes. It was pretty quick.
And then lastly, did you look outside to see what was going on? Did you do anything else to kind of see what was going on before you texted and called?
I texted her. I got up and went to my kitchen counter and I texted her. And then I went and looked out our bedroom window. We could see in front of her garage. And sometimes her kids would come over on the weekend. And people weren't supposed to park in front of the garages. The townhomes share driveways. But sometimes they would. So I checked for a car there. Didn't see anything. And then I went to our bathroom window, which faces the streets. And it's a pretty small window. But I looked out the window and saw a truck running, and it looked like an older Ford. It looked like it was running, but the lights were on, like the flashers were on. And I noticed there was cardboard underneath it, which I thought was really weird. That was when I decided to call 911.
The truck was not a usual vehicle in the neighborhood?
No.
Your Honor, the state has identified the 911 call as Exhibit 36. The state now moves to admit Exhibit 36.
Any objection, Mr. Facemire?
No, Your Honor.
So admitted, thank you.
Permission to play for the jury?
Yes, please, thank you.
July 12, 2024, 22:09:42.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
112 South 920 East, my neighbors,
What city?
American Fork.
And the address one more time?
I'm at 112 South 920 East, it's my neighbors, but
What's the phone number you're
I think
calling
I-
on in case we're disconnected?
559-907-7484.
Okay, so the address is your home, it's your neighbors, and tell me exactly what's going on with them.
I'm pretty sure I just heard gunshots, and
Okay,
there's a car with flashers. I know that her daughter just left her husband in California.
okay,
But I tried getting a hold of her and I haven't heard anything, but
okay. And you said it's the neighbor's daughter is going through a divorce, or?
she left her husband.
Okay. In California?
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's a sketchy truck in front of her house and it sounded like gunshots.
Okay, what kind of truck is that?
It looks like a Ford,
What color?
silver, older, got a lot of rust on it. I can't tell if the plates are California.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then, do you know what direction your neighbor's house is from your house?
I think she's 114.
Okay. At
I'm
114
gonna,
South?
yes.
Okay. And you're gonna what?
I'm gonna see if my husband can try calling her, but I don't know.
And you still see the truck outside? Are you
Yeah,
able to see a license plate?
I really can't tell. Like I can see it from my bathroom,
Okay.
and it's dark outside, so I cannot tell where it's from.
And the gunshot, was it one shot? Did you hear multiple?
It sounded like what did it sound like to you? It sounded like I talked to you too. It sounded, I don't know, maybe 6.
6 shots?
I think. I don't know. I don't think it was fireworks.
Okay.
Where's your phone?
And do you know, was the husband still in California, or?
I don't know. I don't know all the details. I'm
Okay.
just, there's a sketchy looking truck in front of their house.
Okay, and you've never seen it before in the area?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to call her from my husband's phone, but
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna keep you on the line, keep me updated with that.
yeah, I'm gonna try to call her.
What's her name?
Maybe. Her name is Tracey. Her daughter's name is Katie.
Okay.
I'm gonna see if I can get a hold of her. It didn't sound like fireworks to me.
And what's your name?
It's Caitlyn
With
Laney
a C or a K?
with a K. I'm gonna call her right now.
Okay, yeah, let me know.
She didn't answer.
Okay. And what was your last name again, Caitlyn?
It's Laney. It's Laney.
Laney? Okay. Do you have, it looks like what?
It looks like there's cardboard under like the front of the truck, which seems kind of weird, but I don't know. My husband thinks it sounded like gunshots too.
Okay. What's Tracy's phone number?
801-651-2695.
Okay. And we're getting an officer sent into that area now. If anything changes or escalates at all, just go ahead and give us a call right back. Okay, Caitlyn?
Okay, there's a gate code. It's pound 1212, if you want to let the officer know.
Pound 1212?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll get them sent into that area.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
Okay, thank you. Caitlin, do you see a binder in front of you?
Yes.
Could you please turn to tab 37? That's what's been marked as State's Exhibit 37.
Okay.
Are
I
you on
found
the
it.
first page of those?
Yes.
Previously, you testified about texting Tracey. Are these those texts?
Yes.
Your Honor, the state moves into evidence Exhibit 37.
Any objection? No, Your Honor. So ordered, thank you.
May we publish?
Yes.
Thank you. Let's just zoom in on that first message if we could. Okay. Caitlin, would you please read the time stamp on that message?
10:08:33.
And please read the message.
Are you guys okay?
The text message you testified about, is this message?
Yes.
Okay, and that timestamp of 10:08:33, that's accurate to the time that you texted Tracey?
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you. Now, these text messages weren't just texts on that night. They extend into the next day. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to have you read a select few of these messages, okay?
Okay.
So the next thing I want you to do is turn the page to page 2. And if we could also move this to page 2. Thank you. And so Tracey didn't respond on the evening of the 12th. She started responding the morning of the 13th. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go to your, let's clarify one more thing. The green bubbles are from Tracey, is that correct?
Yes.
And the blue bubbles are from you?
Yes.
Okay. So let's go to your first bubble on the 13th. What did you ask Tracey?
Was it your son-in-law?
Continue to the next message, please. And how does she respond?
Yes.
And then please read your next message to her.
A bullet went into our garage.
And how does she respond?
OMG.
Do you know what that stands for?
Oh my God.
Okay. Let's continue to the next message. And what did you say in response?
I said, oh man, just him, ?
And what was her response across the next 3 messages?
Yes. Excuse me. He had a knife. And my son Kevin shot him.
Okay. And that message, again, the time on that one was?
6:58
a.m.
in the morning.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask you to just skip forward to page 8. Sorry. Let's go to page 9. The first green message from Tracey on this page. What's the time there?
7:02 a.m.
Okay, so this is just a few minutes after that prior text.
Yes.
So it's the same conversation.
Yes.
Okay. What did Tracey ask you?
What time did you call 911?
Okay. And then this next message, this just appears to be out of order. You're responding to something previous in the conversation. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So Tracey asked, what time did you call 911? And then her next message to you is what?
Did you call 911 or did another neighbor?
And what's her next message to you?
I was on the phone with 911 and they were there so fast.
And then let's read your last text message on this exhibit.
I called at 10:07, I think. We were in the living room watching a movie with the kids and I heard the shots and texted you. And then I saw the truck with Cali plates and called. I was on the phone with them when I called you.
Thank you. You can go ahead and put the exhibit aside now. Now, after this, did you ever speak with Tracey Grist about the shooting?
Yes,
When was it that you spoke with her?
later that afternoon.
And was this a phone call, an in-person conversation, or something else?
It was in person.
Okay. Did she tell you what had happened the previous night?
She said that her son-in-law, sorry, I'm blanking on it, Matthew. She said that Matt, she called him Matt, had come into the house with a knife and that he was being erratic, and that he wanted to see Kate, and that she had told him that he was upstairs, and then he turned the corner to go upstairs, and then Kevin shot him.
Did Tracey tell you where she was when this all happened?
She said she was in the kitchen by the fridge. I think she said she was sitting on the counter by the fridge.
There wasn't a
Yeah.
question, so.
That's fine, but let's just clarify that point, is where I was going next. She was in the kitchen. Did she say specifically where she was in the kitchen?
Yes, on the counter by the fridge.
Okay. And did she, let's just be a little bit more detailed if you can from your memory. Did she specifically articulate whether Matthew had a knife and when she saw it, if he did?
If I remember correctly, she said she saw it when he was in the kitchen.
Okay. And did she make any comments about whether Matthew, you said, you just testified that she told you Matthew was acting erratically. Did she give you more detail about that?
Not super, like that he just seemed agitated.
Okay. Did she make any statements about whether he had come in and was stationary or moving about the house or anything about that?
Not directly. I think she just said he had come in through the living room.
Okay. You remember testifying at a previous hearing?
Yes.
Okay. Judge, may I approach the witness?
Yes, thank you.
Don't read that out loud. So we have a transcript of one of the prior hearings. That section marked in blue, you can ignore everything else. Just please read that to yourself and not to the jury. Okay?
Okay.
I'm going to come grab it from you. Did reading that refresh your memory of other things Tracey may have told you?
Yes.
Okay. And so that last point that I had asked about, of her descriptions of what Matthew was doing, what do you remember now?
But he had walked in through the front door and went through the living room and did you want me to explain the living room?
Maybe that would be helpful to the jury.
Okay.
What is the layout of that home?
Okay, so he walked in through the front door. When you walk into Tracey's door, if you go straight there, you go straight to the kitchen. But there's like a fireplace block just to the right. So if you walk in and go to the right, you're gonna kind of go around this block. There's a dining room, kitchen's here. So front door's here, kitchen's here, living room's here. There's a block in the middle. So from what she told me, he walked in, walked around into the kitchen, saw her in the kitchen, asked her about Kate, and then had to go back around because the stairs are also off to the left. Like you're heading towards the stairs. When you walk in the door, there's an office door, a closet, and then there's the stairs to go upstairs.
Okay, thank you. I think that gives a good description of the home. And so you've testified that she stated Matthew had come in, he had come to the kitchen where she was and where she was sitting, and he had a knife, and that she had also told you that Kevin had at some point shot Matthew.
Yes.
Did she tell you where Kevin got the gun?
She said he had gotten it from the garage.
And where is the garage in relation to these rooms?
The garage from the front door and the living room. If you walk in and towards the kitchen, before you hit the kitchen, there's a hallway. You walk straight down the hallway, and then the garage door would be there.
Okay. And did she say whose gun it was?
Hers.
Okay. And did she say whether she had it stored in any particular way?
She had it in a gun case.
And did she show you that gun case?
Yes.
Okay. When she showed it to you, did she have to obtain it from any part of the house?
I think she grabbed it from the garage.
Okay. Thank you. No further questions.
Ross?
Hi, Caitlyn.
Hi.
I just have a couple questions. Do you remember testifying before in a previous trial?
Yes.
And how long ago was that?
2 months.
2 months. Okay. And when you called 911, how long ago was that?
Almost 2 years.
2 years. Yeah. And so you're relying on your memory as best you can, right?
Yes.
And when you described the home of Tracey, is that because you've been there? You've been in her home, or you've been in one exactly like it?
Yes, I've been in her home.
In her home. So when you open the front door, it swings, when I'm walking in, it swings left, right?
Yes.
I don't know how that will work. It swings left, right? But it swings left.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Thank you. And when you first are in the doorway, you sort of have to make a decision on how you're going to continue into the house. Isn't that right?
Yes.
So the home is sort of built in a way to have an inviting area of a living room on your right side and then a hallway on your left side. Is that right?
Yes.
And so I think what you're describing is that when Matt, according to what Tracey had said, when Matt had came in, he had made the decision to go shift to the right to then have a chat with ended up being a chat with Tracey, right?
Yes.
But he could have gone left a little bit, like a dodge left or a dodge right. Is that a good way to describe that home?
Well, if he went the way that I remember her describing, he would have had to go right.
Yeah. And if he would have gone left, he would have like veered left and gone down the hallway toward the kitchen. Is that right?
It was more of like a straight shot, maybe
Okay.
slightly to the left, but it was more of a straight shot to the kitchen.
There's this wall, this obstruction wall, sort of right in front of you, that is where the fireplace is built in and provides this ambience for the living room, right?
Yes.
Okay. In your recollection of your conversation with Tracey, are there things that you might have forgotten?
Possibly.
You know, are there things that you're trying your best to remember?
Yes.
Would you say the same thing about during the trial 2 months ago? Are the things you could have forgotten and things you're just trying to remember?
It's possible, yeah.
You used the word agitated. Is that a word that you remember Tracey saying, or is that just a word you're trying to come up with to best describe what you recall?
I believe she said agitated, but I mean a similar word with the same meaning is
Sure.
possible.
Yeah, and I understand that. When Tracey and you talked about what happened, were you at her home when you were talking about it?
Yes, the next day.
Yeah, and she talked about Kevin having a gun, right?
Yes,
And then she showed you where the gun holder was.
yes.
And did she tell you when Kevin got the gun?
I want to say when Matthew got there, I don't remember if it was when he saw him pull up or when he came into the house.
Do you remember whether she said either?
It would have been that day,
So she said he got it that day.
that evening.
He said he got it that evening. Do you remember her saying that, or are you just trying your best to understand the story?
No, she did say that he went and got the gun after Matthew arrived. I don't remember if it was when he pulled up or if it was when he came into the home.
Okay. And this was how long after the shooting occurred?
This was the next afternoon.
So how long after the shooting occurred, do you think? Shooting occurred around 10 p.m.?
Yes.
Yeah. And so when were you having the conversation?
It was the next day around 1 or 2.
Okay, so about 12 hours later?
Yeah.
Okay. No further questions.
Any redirect?
30 seconds, Judge.
Thank you.
No further questions. Thanks, Judge.
Thank you, Ms. Laney. Thank you for coming today. Please call your next witness.
State calls Brent Laney.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Laney. If you'll come stand in front of me, I'll swear you in, right up here. Roughly in front of you.